Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayana Namaskritya Naram Cheva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudire Nashtiprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttam Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki. So continuing with our discussion on Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 2, Chapter 7, Scheduled Incarnations with the specific functions. Text number 49 onwards. Sa Shreyasamapi Vibhur Bhagwan Yatvasya Bhava Subhava Vihitasya Satah Prasiddhi Dehe Sadhatu Vigne Anuvishiriyamane Vyomev Tatra Purusho Navishiri Atejaha Vishiri Tejaha. The personality of Godhead is a supreme master of everything auspicious because the results of whatever action are performed by the living being in either the material or spiritual existence are rewarded by the Lord. As such, He is the ultimate benefactor. Every individual living entity is unborn, and therefore, even after the annihilation of the material elementary body, the living entity exists exactly like the air within the body. The living entity is unborn and eternal and is confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 230. The living entity is not exhausted even though the material elementary body is vanquished. As long as the living entity is in material existence, actions performed by him are rewarded in the next life or even in the present life. Similarly, in his spiritual life also, actions are rewarded by the Lord by the five kinds of liberation. Even the impersonalist cannot achieve the desired merging into the existence of Supreme without being favored by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It's confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita 4:11 that the Lord awards similar results as one desires in one's present life. The living entities are given freedom to make their choice, and the Lord awards them accordingly. So here Brahmaji is saying everything, all the results are actually given by Krishna himself, the Supreme Lord himself. Nothing is in our hands. He is a supreme master of all everything auspicious, because the results of whatever actions are performed are awarded by the Lord himself. So actually it's in the following words, it is then of course, the idea is, since everything is rewarded by the Lord, whether it is material actions, whether it is spiritual actions, even in spiritual actions, whether it is the results of yoga, karma yoga, jnana yoga, dhyana yoga, or bhakti yoga. So might as well serve the Lord, surrender and serve Him. So ultimately, everything will be given by Him only. That's the idea. The living entities are given freedom to make the choice, and the Lord awards them accordingly. It's a duty of everyone, therefore, to worship devoutly only the personality of Godhead, to achieve his desired goal. The impersonalist, instead of speculations or meditating, can directly execute the routine devotion service of the Lord, and thus easily obtain the desired goal. So everything has to come from the Lord only anyway. Whether the impersonalists also, when they want to merge in Brahm Jyoti, even that will be awarded by the Supreme Lord himself. He says in Bhagavad Gita, Ye yatha mam prapadyante tastathavi bhajami. I reward them accordingly as one approaches me. So, like in the universal form we saw, in the material world, nothing is away from him, nothing exists without his, that is not controlled by him, that's not maintained by him. So spiritual world is also the same, whether it's Brahm Jyoti, Brahmatma feature, or the Supreme Lord, Bhagavan feature himself. Whether everything in Vaikuntha Loka or Brahm Jyoti or or anywhere else. Everything is controlled by the Lord. So Prabhupada is saying, even if the impersonalists, why don't they also execute the routine devotional service and thus easily obtain the desired goal? Instead of going into meditation, even the meditation, the results will be awarded by Krishna only. There's no other way. The devotees, however, are naturally inclined to become associates of the Lord and not merge into spiritual existence as conceived by the impersonalists. The devotees, however, therefore, following their constitutional instincts, achieve the desired goal of becoming servitors, friends, fathers, mothers, or conjugal lovers of the Lord. The devotional service of the Lord involves 9 transcendental processes, such as hearing and chanting. And by performing such easy and natural devotional services, the devotees achieve the highest perfectional results, far, far superior to merging into the existence of Brahman. The devotees are therefore never advised to indulge in speculating upon the nature of the Supreme or artificially meditating on the void. Just like in the previous verse, this wonderful example was given that Indra, he is a master of rain. I mean, he makes sure wherever it rains. So he is not going to dig a well to quench his thirst or for want of water. So, so a devotee, he obtains everything by serving the Supreme Lord. So he doesn't need to get into unnecessary meditation and speculation on the scriptures or speculation on the form of the Lord, because he directly sees and serves the Lord. So they achieve the highest perfectional result. But the dhyanis, jnanis, yogis, karmis, even if they want to achieve something that is not directly in relation with Krishna, still it will be awarded by Krishna only through one of his agencies, through one of his energies. So ultimately it's all Krishna. And this is Brahmaji saying. It's not that Prabhupada is writing this. Prabhupada is writing following the previous acharyas, but this shloka is spoken by Brahmaji himself. It's a long purport. I'll go towards the end. The Lord is so kind that even if a devotee of the Lord cannot fulfill the complete course of devotion service unalloyed and uncontaminated by material association, he is given another chance in the next life by being awarded a berth in the family of a devotee or a rich man, so that without being engaged in the struggle for material existence, the devotee can finish the remaining purification of his existence, and thus immediately after relinquishing the present body, go back home, back to Godhead. This is confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita. So for the devotee, it becomes very easy actually. So if he has performed in Bhagavad Gita, like it was mentioned, if he leaves his body after little progress, then he gets to take birth in either rich family or educated family or a high parentage. But if he leaves the body after long progress, of a high progress, but still not complete, then he gets to take birth in a Vaishnava family where he continues, where he starts off, wherever he has left. And Prabhupada is saying, so that without being engaged in the struggle for material existence, the devotee can finish the remaining purification. I mean, material existence is what? Struggle for material existence. Then, I mean, working hard, so hard to make ends meet and to keep up with sharmas and varmas. It's a struggle. But for devotee, the life is so simple. He doesn't need a whole lot, first of all. And he is more or less satisfied with whatever he has. His desires, his needs are not that much in materially that he needs a palatial home and big business and a big whole lot of income or very luxurious cars. A devotee doesn't need all this. His life is very, very simple. He's satisfied, even with very little, he's satisfied. So Krishna takes care of that very easily. So the devotee can live his life comfortably and perform his bhakti because that is his main goal anyway. And so that's what Prabhupada is saying that so that immediately after relinquishing the present body, he goes back to God. So simple. It becomes so simple for a devotee. In this connection, detailed information is available in the Bhagavad Sandarbha of Srila Jiva Goswami Prabhupada. Once achieving the spiritual existence, the devotee is eternally situated there, as already discussed in the previous verse. Text 50. Soyam te abhihitastata bhagwan vishwa bhavana samasin harer nanyad anyad asmat sad asatchayat. My dear son, I have now explained in brief the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is the creator of all the manifested worlds. Without him, Hari, the Lord, there are no other causes of the phenomenal and noumenal existences. And this is 49 verses, or of course, Narad Muni asked in the beginning. So 40 some verses Brahmaji spoke, and he says, I just explained in brief. Since we generally have the experience of the temporary material world and conditioned souls trying to lord it over the material worlds, Brahmaji explained to Narad Dev that this temporary world is a work of the external potency of the Lord, and that the conditioned souls struggling here for existence are the marginal potency of the Supreme Lord, the personality of God. There is no cause for all these phenomenal activities but him, Hari, the Supreme Lord, who is the primeval cause of all causes. This does not mean, however, that the Lord himself is distributed impersonally. He is aloof from all these interactions of the external and marginal potencies. In Bhagavad Gita, it is confirmed that by his potencies alone, he is present everywhere and anywhere. Everything that is manifested rests upon his potencies only, but he, as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is always aloof from everything. So he is the cause of the phenomenal, means material and the spiritual worlds. But he himself, him or his energies are the cause, take care of everything. But he himself is not everywhere. As personal, Shyamsundar Krishna is not everywhere. One should not deprecate the Supreme Lord for the creation of this miserable world, just as one should not blame the king for creating a prison house in the government. So that's what we generally do, because when we're going through some tough time or having some bad time, bad luck, so they say, so we generally blame the Supreme Lord. Duniya banane wale, kya tere man mein samay. But Prabhupada is saying this is not right. It's just like we blame the king for creating Tihar jail. It's not his problem. And he does not create it. He hasn't created it for everybody. It's just for those people who break the law. They will be sent there. The prison house is a necessary institution of the government establishment for those who are disobedient to the laws of the government. Similarly, this material world, full of miseries, is a temporary creation of the Lord for those who have forgotten and are trying to lord it over the false manifestation. He, however, is always anxious to get the fallen souls back home, back to Godhead. And for this, he has given us so many chances. He has given so many chances to the conditioned souls via the authoritative scriptures, his representatives in personal incarnations also. Since he has no direct attachment to this material world, he is not to be blamed for its creation. So this material world, of course, he is a cause, he creates it, but he's not he doesn't want to create it, but the material world is created for the conditioned souls like us, who are not fit for the spiritual world and who needs to be rectified somewhere. So he creates this material world. Idam bhagavatam nam yanme bhagavatotitam sangrahoyam vibhutinam tvam etad vipuli kuru. O Narad, this science of God, Srimad Bhagavatam, was spoken to me in summary by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And it was spoken as an accumulation of his diverse potencies. Please expand this science yourself. This Bhagavatam, in a nutshell, spoken by the personality of Godhead in about half a dozen verses, which will appear ahead, is the science of God. And it is a potent representation of the personality of God. So Brahmaji is saying, it was spoken to me in summary. And Prabhupada said it was spoken in about half a dozen verses. So in 9th chapter of 2nd canto, so there will be 4 shlokas, which is considered Chatushloki Bhagavatam. So from there, the whole Bhagavatam expands actually. That is what was told to Brahmaji. And that's it. And now he is telling that I'm telling you these shlokas, whatever he told to Narad, and he's saying, you expand this science yourself. Because this science is not just theoretical knowledge. It's not theoretical knowledge. That like when we study in our school some subject, so whatever teacher has explained, we study and we do ratification and then we write and then we pass the exam and then we forget. This spiritual science is more about realizations. And realizations come from our surrender. And from that surrender and realization and new knowledge can be expanded in our heart by the mercy of Krishna. This is the whole spiritual science. The Bhagavatam in a nutshell, spoken by the personality of Godhead in about half a dozen verses, which will appear ahead, is the science of God. And it's a potent representation of the personality of Godhead. He being absolute is non-different from the science of God, Srimad Bhagavatam. Brahmaji received this science of Godhead from the Lord directly, and he handed over the same to Narad, who in this his turn ordered Srila Vyasadeva to expand it. So the transcendental knowledge of the Supreme Lord is not mental speculation by the mundane wranglers, but is uncontaminated, eternal, perfect knowledge beyond the jurisdiction of material modes. The Bhagavad Puran is therefore the direct incarnation of the Lord in the form of transcendental sound. And one should receive this transcendental knowledge from the bona fide representative of the Lord in the chain of disciplic succession. From the Lord to Brahmaji, from Brahmaji to Narad, Narad to Vyas, Vyasdev to Shukdev Goswami, from Shukdev Goswami to Sut Goswami. The ripened fruit of the Vedic tree drops from one hand to another without being broken by falling suddenly from a high branch down to earth. Therefore, unless one hears the science of Godhead from the bona fide representative of the disciplic succession, for, as above mentioned, for one to understand the theme of the science of Godhead will be a difficult job. It should never be heard from the professional Bhagavatam reciters who earn their livelihood by gratifying the senses of the audience. So this is the beauty of this spiritual science. It's not that all these shlokas were spoken as it is by Brahmaji to Narad Muni, or shlokas of Bhagavatam, or Krishna to Brahmaji. Like Prabhupada said, it was just given in 6 verses, less than half a dozen verses. But Brahmaji expanded, the Narad Muni expanded further according to his realizations. And then Vyasadeva expanded further, and then Shukdev Goswami. That's why it becomes more and more sweet. That's why it is said. Uh, Here we have 18,000 verses in Bhagavatam, but Bhagavatam in heavenly planets, it's about 1 lakh verses. So where is that coming from? So Bhagavatam, of course, we have been given it in the form of a book, and it is necessary. Otherwise, we'll be speculating a lot. But earlier, it wasn't in the form of a book. Only Ved Vyasji put it down in the form of a book. Earlier, it was spoken by Guru to disciples, and they would speak depending upon their realizations. Text 52. Yatha haro bhagvati nirnam bhaktir bhavishyati sarvatmani akhiladhari iti sankalpe varnaya. Please describe the science of Godhead with determination and in a manner by which it will be quite possible for the human being to develop transcendental devotion service unto the personality of Godhead, Hari, the supersoul of every living being and the summum bonum source of all energies. Srimad Bhagavatam is a philosophy of devotion service and the scientific presentation of man's relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Prior to the age of Kali, there was no need for such a book of knowledge to know the Lord and his potential energies. But with the beginning of the age of Kali, human society gradually became influenced by 4 sinful principles, namely illegitimate connection with women, intoxication, gambling, and unnecessary killing of animals. Because of these basic sinful acts, man gradually became forgetful of his eternal relation with God. Therefore, man became blind, so as to speak, to his ultimate goal of life. The ultimate goal of life is not to pass a life of irresponsibility like the animals and indulge in a polished way in the 4 animal principles, namely eating, sleeping, fearing, and mating. For such a blind human society, Srimad Bhagavatam is a torchlight to see things in proper perspective. Therefore, it was necessary to describe the science of God from the very beginning, or from the very birth of the phenomenal world. So Srimad Bhagavatam is so scientifically presented that any sincere student of this great science will be able to understand the science of God simply by reading it with attention or simply by regularly hearing it from the bona fide speaker. So that is Srimad Bhagavatam. And this is what Brahmaji told Narad Muni, saying, Naradji is therefore requested or ordered by his spiritual master to present this science with determination and in good plan. Narad was never advised to preach the principles of Bhagavatam to earn a livelihood. He was ordered by his spiritual master to take the matter very seriously in a missionary spirit. So this is the potency of Bhagavatam. Bhagavatam is not different from Krishna, just like Harinam is not different from Krishna. So just like Prabhupada is writing that Narad Muni was never ordered to preach Bhagavatam in a professional manner to earn money. Similarly, Harinam, one should not perform Harinam as a matter of making money out of it or as a matter of show. It should be done out of devotion service. And Krishna, if he is pleased, he can give the whole world to the Bhagavatam speaker, to the Harinam chanter, to the Kirtaniyas. It's not a big deal for Krishna. But the mood has to be proper. Text 53. Mayam varna yato amushya ishwarasya anumodataha shanvata shraddhya nityam mayayatmana muyati. The Lord's activities in association with his different energies should be described, appreciated, and heard in accordance with the teachings of the Supreme Lord. If this is done regularly with devotion and respect, one is sure to get out of the illusory energy of the Lord. The science of learning a subject matter is seriously different from the sentiments of fanatics. Fanatics or fools may consider the Lord's activities in relation with the external energy to be useless for them, and they may falsely claim to be higher participants in internal energy of the Lord. But factually, the Lord's activities in relation with the external and internal energy are equally good. So fanatics or fools may consider the Lord's activities in relation with the external energy, means Maya, to be useless for them. And they think, oh, Lord's activities in internal potency are more beneficial. But we have to understand Krishna's activities are same. It's just our understanding is completely wrong. And similarly, some people, even Krishna's activities in his spiritual energy, they make distinction over there also. Like Krishna's killing of demons is not as attractive as Krishna's Raslila pastimes. So what to do in that case? This is what Prabhupada is saying. They should not foolishly jump up to the activities of internal energy, falsely attracted by Lord's internal potential activities like his Raslila. The chief reciters of Bhagavatam are very much enthusiastic about the Lord's internal potential activities. And the pseudo-devotees absorbed in material sense enjoyment falsely jump to the stage of liberated souls and thus fall down deeply into the clutches of external energy. Actually, this is the last verse, that's why I'm sort of still running to the end of the purport. So Prabhupada says, last paragraph, very important. In Srimad Bhagavatam, the science of God, the first 9 cantos prepare the ground for hearing the 10th canto. This will be further explained in the last chapter of this canto. In the 3rd canto, it will be more explicit. A pure devotee of the Lord, therefore, must begin reading or hearing Srimad Bhagavatam from the very beginning and not from the 10th canto. We have several times been requested by some so-called devotees to take up the 10th canto immediately. But we have refrained from such an action because we wish to present Srimad Bhagavatam as the science of God and not as a sensuous understanding for the conditioned souls. This is forbidden by such authorities as Sri Brahmaji. By reading and hearing Srimad Bhagavatam as a scientific presentation, the conditioned souls will gradually be promoted to the higher status of transcendental knowledge after being freed from the illusory energy based on sense enjoyment. So this is what the regular and proper hearing of Srimad Bhagavatam will do. It will remove the illusory energy based on sense enjoyment from the heart of the listener, from the sincere listener. And slowly, slowly he'll be purified. So by the time he comes to the 10th canto, he will really relish the pastimes of Lord Krishna. So we'll stop here. See anybody has any questions or comments. And today Akanksha has also joined us. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Praji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mata.
So any questions or comments? Okay. Hare Krishna. Yes, Shashwati Mata.
No, Prabhuji, I had no question. I was just thanking you.
Oh, so thank you, Mata. Okay, you all have a wonderful day. Hare Krishna. Jai Shri Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.